Kumlan Ablakamota. Today's daf is daf Kud Zion. We'll start from Kuvav at the very bottom of the page. So we had this whole paragraph is about two arguments that Chana ben Avshalom had with the Bnei Kohanim. Remember, he had a mission in the first paragraph. There used to be a special bezdin for Kohanim, and then we'll have 7 arguments between Admon and the Chachamim. So the first argument was that the husband went overseas and she wants to have mezainis. So according to Chanan, she has to swear only when she wants to collect a ksuva. We don't have to swear right now that perhaps, the husband already left her some money or something. I was going to see why. And according to the Bnei Kohen Gedolim, no. If she wants to collect mezainis, she needs to swear that before she can collect mezainis. She want to make sure that everything is all right. We'll have another machlekes Rav Shmuel now that seem to be, overlapping or maybe even contradicting this argument between Chanan and the Bnei Kohen Gedolim. And the Mishnah Gemara says, "Itma we learned Rav says poiskin mezayna le'eishes ish." If somebody goes overseas, the bezin will intervene and go into the property, seize property, sell it so that we can provide for the woman and for the wife. Shmuel Amar ein poiskin mezayna le'eishes ish. Shmuel says we do not. If the husband goes overseas, we don't have the right to enter the properties and provide for the woman. So that's a machlekes Rav Shmuel. The obvious question is, in our Mishnah, clearly they're only arguing whether she has to swear or she doesn't have to swear, but everyone agrees that she can collect the mezainis, and yet Shmuel says, "Ain't poiskin mezainis lisha." And the Gemara will discuss that. So first, before we do that, we define the argument between Rav Shmuel. We limit it as follows: Amar Shmuel, moideli Abba, Rav is moided to me. Big machlekes whether, and Rashi himself sometimes says, if Abba was his real name and Rav was a title of respect, or Rav was his real name and Abba is a term of endearment. He said, Abba was made to me. When a man travels overseas, the first 3 months, everyone believes that the husband would have taken care of his wife, provided for her. Now, the 3 months usually is the length of a trip. If he stays by longer than 3 months, it could be something happened and he couldn't make it back. And then maybe he didn't provide for her. But the first 3 months, definitely she has mezainis, she has no right to collect. Because ain't other nobody leaves nothing in the house, in the fridge for the family for 3 months. Number one. Number two, and the Gemara is actually saying this, but if they heard that the person died, then kuli amale pligi. If they heard the person died, then surely she can enter the field and take whatever mezainis she wants. Because what are we worried about? If we are worried about that maybe he already paid her out, doesn't matter, because one day she'll come and collect the ksuva, and then she'll have to swear that she didn't get paid out yet for the ksuva. And if we are worried about the other thing, which is associating more in a minute, and that is that maybe the husband told her, you go earn your own money and take care of yourself, I don't have to provide for you. Once he's dead, she's no longer, no one has the rights over her earnings, including the Yisraelim, as we had before. So therefore, there's nothing to worry about. Okay, so Shama Shebemes, if you heard that he died, she's entitled to take the mezainis, and we sort it out when it comes to ksuva. Ki pligi, the Yisraelim will say, hey, maybe you're double dipping. Ki pligi, when there's the argument between Rav and Shmuel, so the Gemara is saying this, Bishaloi Shamu Boy Shemes. It's longer than 3 months, but we did not hear the father died. And therefore Rav said, well, she needs to live. So what's Shmuel's svara? Is Rav on Paiskin the Meshubala? He has to take care of her. And Shmuel Amar ain't Paiskin. Why not? Here, Gufa, we have an argument. My time, but Azud Amar Eimod Srari Atzase. Azud said maybe he already gave her some security even longer than 3 months, so maybe he paid her out already. Number one. And Papa says, Chayshin, we're worried, Shema Amala, maybe he told her, take care of yourself. You go out, get a job, and earn money for yourself. So that's the logic of Shmuel, why we don't intervene. Says what's the difference if the problem is Chashin Lutzrari, or the reason is he might have said to her, the difference is in a case where one is shaykh and one isn't. For example, a girl that's an adult, so therefore it could very well be he gave her security. His wife is an adult, he gave her security, but v'loy sapka, she does not have skills. She does not have enough. She doesn't have the earning power to take care of herself. So in that case, if the thing is because he might have told her to go to work, here it's not shaykh. If the thing is he might have paid her off or gave her security, then she's an adult. It could have very well have been that he gave her security. Or inamik tana, this sapka. a young girl. So therefore, we don't think that he gave tzorah to a young girl. But with Sapka, on the other hand, she has skills and she can earn money. So again, that's the difference in these two reasons. Now we're going to ask a number of questions on Shmuel. So it cannot be learned. Bishal in our mission says somebody when she asks her for food. She swears when she wants to collect her silver, but not in the beginning. The children of the Kohen, they say no. Tishba b'tchila b'seif. So what are they arguing about? Does she have to swear in order to collect money for mezainis? But what does everyone agree? That she is entitled to collect mezainis. Isn't that a kasha shmuel? The only argument got in shmuel. When it comes to the provisions, everyone agrees that you give. Says Gemara, Targum Shmuel, Shmuel interpreted b'sheshama b'shemes. Remember, we said at the top of the page, if we heard that the husband died, she's entitled to collect mezainis because we don't think he went that far, that he would have taken care of her. And even if he would have given her tzorari, that will be sorted out when she comes to collect Kesuvos. And what about her earnings? The same have no right to her earnings. So that's what Shmuel said. That's what happened in our Mishnah. It's longer than 3 months, and we heard that the husband died. And Tesh already points out when we say we heard the husband died, we're talking about based on 2 witnesses. Okay, Toshma coming here. Misha halach someone overseas. The woman says, they goes to court and the peasant says, I need money. They swear right now, I'll give you. And Chama says, Loi tishba, don't swear. But the imba, the husband comes, the husband comes afterwards and says, I took care of her, I provided her, I gave her tzorari, for example, then Neman, he's believed. Now, it says the husband came back, so obviously the husband's alive. The husband's alive, and yet both Chanan and the Bnei Kohen agree that she's entitled to mezainis. The only question is whether there's a shvuah or not. Kasha and Shmuel. Hachanami, when it answers, b'sheshama b'shemes. So, by the case we heard he died. So you want to ask, well, in Bav Amakom, it says clearly he was alive. He came back home. Says the Gemara, in Bav Shmuel. He came after we heard about that he died. So we heard based on 2 witnesses that he died. The way Taisa learned, at least one shot Taisa, you 2 witnesses died, and then it looks like it was erroneous, this information, and the husband came back. So we were thinking of giving her food, and we did, and then the husband came back. So therefore, he obviously would believe him that he gave it to her. Toshma coming here. So again, doesn't in any way refute Shmuel's opinion, who says that she's not entitled to mezainis. It's only if we heard that he died. Toshma coming in. Misham I went overseas. She's going to wife to claim mezainis. If he comes and says, I told you, go ahead and earn money for yourself, but I show you. You can say that, and he doesn't have to pay anything because you have no right to do it. He said, I told her to go work. If Bezin jumped in ahead and sold certain properties, whatever they sold, they sold. So again, question on Shmuel says clearly here, the husband came back, she's alive, and yet we were about to give her mezainis. Again, same thing. Someone after he died, we heard that he died. And the wife is asking for mezainis. They go down to the state. They should go out and provide for her, take care of his wife. So they only go in and intervene to take care of his wife, but not for his children. And then the third thing is nor for the other thing, which you want to explain later what that means. We don't take from the husband's estate. So the question here is again. Says it seems that the wife's entitled to get mezainis. Yeah, the Gemara could have answered that talking about that the husband died, but then we have to wonder why don't we take care of the kids? So the Gemara has been mashas ishtay. Before he went overseas, he got an administrator, and he said, "Administrator, I want you to go ahead and take care of my property and take care of my wife." So therefore, what do you call it? And then the patur says, I'm walking away from the job. And that's the problem. Now here, what are we going to say? That the husband might have left sorority, then why did he have an administrator there? And what do we say that he said, go earn your own keep, then why did he have an administrator? So because it was an administrator, tells us that that was the only arrangement that was made, and the administrator quit. So therefore, we have a right to go in, according to everybody, and collect mezainis. So why not the children as well? Isn't it an obligation that we should continue Obviously, when while the administrator was there, he fed the wife and he fed the kids. So now the administrator quit. Why are we only continuing the wife? We're not continuing the kids. What's the logic of that? So he answered, no, the administrator the arrangement was only that he should take care of his wife. There was never an arrangement to take care of his kids at all, even when the administrator was there. So now that he quit, there's nothing to move forward to. And one of my posture, what a strange arrangement. Why did you deem it why did you learn the mission as a strange way that he only intended to provide for his wife and not for his kids? So the Gemara is not content with that answer. We heard that he died be'ed echad. But instead of normally, which is two witnesses, we heard that via only a single witness that he died. So generally, according to Shmuel, we're not allowed to go into the estate. So for the children, we cannot go in the estate and sell it, turn it into cash, and feed the children. But we can't do that because maybe he gave charity, maybe he told them to work. But for the wife, is different. Why is the wife different? Could be learned in the whole Gemara Yevamos there that if a single aide comes and tells a woman that your husband has died, normally we wouldn't accept that kind of testimony. But for a wife, it is good enough because we're sure that dying convinced, but she'll do her own homework. You want to also help her out. So the only one that an aid echad is considered aid is for the wife. And therefore, for her, it's like two aidim who said the husband died. Two aidim died. She's entitled to get mezainis. As far as the kids are concerned, an aid echad is merely an aid echad. It doesn't do anything for them. Therefore, as far as they're concerned, the husband might, maybe did die, maybe didn't die, and therefore they have no right to go ahead and collect the mezainis. The boys in Subibet, if he wants to get married based on the single testimony, Motzim she can get married. So as if the husband died, like two witnesses, and therefore we provide for her. But his kids, the boy lemechas and chasav, let's say want to inherit the property. With just one based on the count and the account of one aid, we wouldn't go ahead and split the property, divide the property. Because they're not living only if we don't give mezainis either. We don't know for sure the husband died or the father died, and therefore they're not entitled to it. Says one of my davar acha, you said no to a davar acha, are they entitled to go into the state. What's that? If she wants to have jewelry or kind of spices, perfumes, and all that, can go in. And if she wants to distribute charity, we cannot go unilaterally and take from the husband's property if he's away. Even though for her benefit, ultimately for his benefit, yet you cannot do it on our own. Surely you can't just go into the property and give tzedakah without him, the husband's agreement. But man, yes, like doesn't want his wife to look ugly, and therefore he doesn't mind that she takes care of herself even when he's gone. Okay, so we still have the argument of Rav Shmuel, where if after the husband died, according to Shmuel, she's not entitled to mezainis. According to Rav, she is. According to Shmuel, why is she entitled to mezainis? Whether it's because chashin l'tzori, maybe the husband gave her a raise of security, or whether he told her go get a job. So Toshma Hayavama, so the Yigimah Chadashim, after her husband died, she has to wait 3 months just to sort out if she was pregnant, whose child it is. In the first 3 months, the Zain is Mishal Bailas. The first 3 months, she gets fed from her husband's estate because she cannot get married. She's stuck. She's in a state of limbo. So therefore, she's entitled to collect money from the husband's estate. and we're talking about the husband died, obviously, because she's Yavama. We can't be beyond 3 months. Ain't on the Zainus, she does not get fed. Lay Mishal Baila, because he's not holding her back. She can go and get a chalitza, yibibim. The Loy Mishal Yavam. But the Yavam is not connected to her that he has to take care of her. Amad Bedin, she's in state of limbo. She wants to move forward, so she takes the husband, the future brother-in-law, future husband, to a din tater, and she gives him an ultimatum: either give me chalitza, or marry me. Ubarach, and he fled. The Zainus Mishal Yavam. She's entitled to collect from the Yavam. So we see clearly from here that she can collect from the husband died, and she's collecting the mezainis from the yavam. So we see a raya to Rav. Amal Shmuel, we're not talking about the husband or the brother-in-law, and that's very different. What are we worried about? There are two reasons we said before. We worried about sorority, like we said, said before. We're worried that the husband gave security. That's a husband because he loves her. He wants to make sure she feels confident and taken care of. This is a future brother-in-law that hasn't married her yet. So why would he give her security? Even he's not that close to her that he should just willy-nilly give her security. And even there, and if it's because he says, go ahead, and the earnings that belong to me, you keep and you take care of yourself. Her earnings do not belong to the yavam. It's only after they get married. And therefore, there's nothing to worry about. In this case, we provide mezainis for her There's no reason to worry that maybe she got paid off already. Okay, Toshma, further proof. So there are numerous questions here on Shmuel. Toshma, coming here. A woman that she and her husband went overseas. But she came, she said, Mez Bailey. She went overseas with her husband and she came back and reported that her husband died. If she wants the Zionist. A woman is believed to, if a woman comes back and says, my husband died, she's allowed to get married because she's in trouble if the husband comes back alive. So we're sure that she's telling the truth. Otherwise, she's not only jeopardizing her future, she's also jeopardizing the future of her kids. If she wants, if she wants, she can either collect mezainis, or if she wants, she can say, look, I'm terminating my relationship, pay me out my ksuvah. What happens? She comes back and reports Kishani by it. Not that my husband died, but my husband divorced me. Then, now we don't know now to believe or not, but we believe her husband died because if she gets married again, she might produce mamzein and she must be saying the truth. If she said my husband divorced, what risk is she taking? She thinks even the husband comes back. I'm going to say he divorced me. So Gishani Bailey, my husband divorced me. Misparneses v'hoileches, she can continue to eat food, but only to the value of the ksula. She doesn't collect her ksula because we don't know to trust her whether she's really divorced. We don't allow her to get the ksula, and because we don't believe her when it comes to gittin. But food will give her because manushach, up to the value of the ksula. Manushach. If she was never divorced, it's his wife. He has to take care of her. And if she did get divorced, later on when he comes back, this will be the equal to the ksuvah because we don't give her mezainis more than the value of the ksuvah, and the value of the ksuvah lasts for at least a year and so on. So by then things will be sorted out. Okay, so clearly from here again, if she says my husband died, she can collect the mezainis, or if she says my husband died, my husband divorced me, she's a right to collect the mezainis up to a ksuvah. And the reason why we're giving her mezainis is because maybe she's still married. But Shmuel says you don't give mezainis after 3 months. Says the Gemara again, we heard that after that he now died. Could be he divorced her, but now he died. So Maishna, then if he died, why is it ad kedei suvasa? Why is it we only allow her to collect up to the value of ksuvah? So we answer, it's her own fault because she claimed that she was divorced. If based on her words, if she wouldn't have said anything, we would give her food for ad infinitum. But because she said she was divorced, which basically she's saying, I'm not entitled to mezainis. It's no longer my husband. And so on the other hand, so why doesn't she just collect the ksuvah? Why doesn't she just collect the ksuvah? We heard the husband died because she herself doesn't really believe that the husband died, and therefore it's better for her that she continues to collect, as mezainis, and then when the husband comes, work it out. So her ksuvah is still intact. She'd be happier if she can get away with it and get mezainis right now and get the ksuvah when he comes. So therefore, this is the path that she wants to travel. Again, we ask questions Shmuel, and we're constantly answering the same answer, the same refrain. We heard that he died. When do we say that a mam enes, a girl that's young, was married by siblings, she doesn't have food? While she's married to her husband, even though she's 10 years old, he still has to take care of her. So what do you mean that there's no provision for food? While she's living with the husband, he has to feed her. Husband overseas loves her. She borrowed money to live, and she ate. Now, if she borrowed money and she ate, the din is that you have to pay when the husband comes back. He has to pay because she had a right. She has to be fed. She had a right to borrow the money. As long as that person lent the money to the woman, then the husband has to pay off that loan. If that guy went and lent the money to the husband who wasn't around, that's the next Mishnah. So definitely have to pay off. But what happens if Mina, she borrowed $200-300, she ate, and then she decided to walk out of the marriage. The husband's not coming back. She walked out of the marriage, and then the husband comes back. Then he does not have to reimburse that person because she's no longer his wife. Retrospectively, the Mina, the only reason why he doesn't have to pay is because she walked out of the marriage. But if she wouldn't have walked out of the marriage, you definitely have to give mezainis. So it's clearly from here that you have to pay back even the loan. and mezainis. Amalach Shmuel again. Hachla my nechla. In this case of a ketana, what are we worried about? Remember, we're talking about a young girl, as we said before. Nobody gives a young girl who's not responsible, expensive stuff to mind or to keep. So therefore, it's not going to happen. What about her earnings? Generally speaking, a young girl under 12 years old these girls do not have the skill to earn substantial money. Generally, they don't earn sufficient money. Is my bottom line? Who's right? Rav or Shmuel? He also Ravdimi have two versions. Ravdimi came, Omar, he said, Rebbe, a similar story happened for Rebbe Beisha Orim, and he said to the wife, go ahead and collect mezainis, just like Rav. Lifnei Rabbi Shmuel, a similar story happened to Shmuel Tzapaydi, V'loi Pasal mezainis, and he followed Shmuel, he did not give mezainis. Troi Rabbi Yechon, so Ravdimi saying, Rabbi Yechon was wondering, what possible logic is there in Rabbi Shmuel's view? Shaloi Pasal mezainis didn't give her food. They're only arguing regarding the vow. Like Mark's question before, everyone agrees that you give mezainis. Rab Shimon bar Abba said, interesting that he calls Shmuel Rabbeinu Shmuel, and he called in front of his own Rebbe Rabbi Yechon. Rabbeinu Shmuel and Bavel already explained the Mishnah is talking about, you heard that he died. Do they break down the Mishnah such a doichik pshat to such an extent just to conform with his view? That's one version of the story. Kiyasa Ravin's version is that the machlekes Rebbe Shmuel is very different. Ravin said, all the way around. Rebbe said no mezainis, and Rabbi Shmuel is the one that says yes mezainis like Rab. Why did Rebbe decide not to give a food? Regarding a vow. Our mezainis Yavinik do give. So Rav Shimon said that Shmuel already answered the bubble. So in this version, in the Ravin's version, he didn't call Shmuel Rabbeinu Shmuel. In Avdimi's version, he had enough respect for Shmuel, he called him Rabbeinu Shmuel. He said Shmuel already answered Kishon Meshmes. Somebody he heard that he died. Amalei Patritu Bokula Hai. They broke it down so far. Anyway, the Hilchos includes Kavase Dara. The halacha is like Rav. What you do give mezainis to a woman after 3 months the husband being away. That's number one. Number two is upaiskim mezainis leijit. That's number one. And you give food to a married woman. Number one. Number two, the hilchos kavase de Rav Huna Marav, and this is regarding what we learned a long time ago. The Amar Rav Huna Marav. This whole idea that her earnings go to the husband and he provides for her is for her benefit. But if she says, I earn enough money, I don't need your help, and I don't want my earnings to go to you, then she has the right to say, don't feed me, and my money doesn't go to you. And the third thing is, when it comes to kunya. Now, I'm not sure why we bring this down here. What's the connection between this third machlekes and the other ones? What is it? This is a clay. This is a clay, dishes that are glazed over with either glass, according to some Rishonim, or with like leather. So the idea, a clay cheres, you can have a kasha because it's so porous it constantly absorbs. But if you cover it, the coating, it sometimes prevents it from absorbing. So it depends what kind of coating it is. Because he says here, Haniman and kunya, you have these earthenware kalim, these plates. They're glazed with something white or something black. Shoru, they are permitted because they block. They do not allow the clay cheres to absorb any of the treif or ainesach, whatever it may be. But you look at the yellow ones or the green ones, actually they're forbidden because they have some kind of a chemical in it that it somehow or another allows the food to enter the clay cheres. What is it? White and black is alright, there are no cracks in it. If there are cracks in it, asidi, it is forbidden. Okay, then we're stopping more here because now starts the Mishnah and the new Gemara, and we will learn tomorrow.